Welcome back to the Howard Keating Show. I'm Howard Keating, and we got a guest here from the Agriculture Department that you're going to enjoy. This is going to be very informative. Sit back, because we're going to get into details when we were talking to Michele. Her name is Michele Kouadio. Did I say that right, Michele?
Yes, you did.
Okay, she's over at the Department of Agriculture. Could you tell them what your job is over there?
I actually work for the Foreign Agricultural Service, which is the lead international agency for all of the Department of Agriculture. My job as an agriculture marketing specialist is to handle business development for both Africa and the Middle East. Our product is actually the GSM 102 Export Credit Guarantee Program that provides credit guarantees that encourage U.S. private sector banks to extend U.S. dollar trade credits to banks that we approve around the world. And what this can mean is that importers desiring to buy U.S. products can actually get terms that they wouldn't otherwise.
See, I think this is dynamite. So we're talking back and forth like this. This is dynamite, that you're going to give that ability to these companies that want to export, that you have all these banks. So we can go right online and take a look under, where will we find out about those banks, for example?
Okay, you can go online, www.fas.usda.gov, and then you can Google search for GSM 102 Export Credit Guarantee Program. There you'll see various links, anywhere from approved foreign obligors to U.S. banks that participate in the program. But to get the real inside scoop, you should actually call one of the planning and analysis staff, and that's where I work. We are the business development arm. Our credit program division actually has a risk and asset management branch that reviews banks globally and looks at country risk. We also have a registrations and operations branch that can tell people how to successfully register for our program. But our job in the planning and analysis branch is to look at how we work with businesses to expand exports overseas. So if you want the nitty-gritty, you call me. And I'm going to tell you what, when you call me, I'm going to say, you need to have a bankable business plan with a 1 or 2 page cover, because people in finance won't look beyond that. You need to keep it real. And that's when we refer to SBA, by the way.
Okay, that's great. You want to give your contact?
Sure. You can contact me, Michele Kouadio, at area code 202-720-5151. My email is michele.kouadio@fas.usda.gov, and I will be happy to lead anybody to the right people that can help with these trade finance opportunities.
This is a dynamite lady. I mean, what she says, she'll do, and she'll follow up. She's quite a personality, but she's also been experienced with this, and she's been experienced with one of our owners, Clayton Yetter, former Secretary of Agriculture, and the head of Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So she's been a pro. She's been aboard with them for some time. Let's talk about these small businesses.
Sure.
They should be. We got to start thinking global.
For sure. As we listened to this morning's panel with all of the CEOs, I think it was Honeywell, Siemens, and Caterpillar.
Caterpillar, okay.
Yeah. They talked about very specifically the growth market outside of the United States. When I look at Africa and the Middle East, the growth is 6%. But globally, I can generalize that for agriculture to say that's true, while in the United States it's 3%. So we don't have any option but to look for markets outside the United States. I happen to believe that that is effective relationship building.
I agree with you. And it's a great opportunity for American companies to start expanding. Getting the right partner in these countries is the key, because you need to get the people that know the turf, that have relationships out there, know the culture, the languages, and so forth. All
Absolutely.
that does is help them, am I right?
That's correct. In fact, I started my international career in 1977 as a Peace Corps volunteer. I actually lived in a village in Ghana, West Africa. A few years later, I married someone from Côte d'Ivoire. So I've actually seen firsthand that, in establishing and understanding relationships around the world, that you can build good business. And in fact, one of the CEOs on the panel today said just that that if we're going to be successful, we have got to start putting our roots down in other countries and not looking at it so much as they're competing with us, but how we're trading and working together.
And that pie, ladies and gentlemen out there, that pie gets bigger and bigger. It doesn't get smaller. We aren't giving up anything. We're actually expanding individually, but collectively as a worldwide community. That is the key. We're helping these people, and they're going to help us right back because they're going to be future customers. They'll be able to grow. It's a great opportunity with Africa, South America, Asia. All of them are fast, looking for help. They love American product and ingenuity. So here we got an opportunity to get out there and carve our little stake. And you know what else is neat about this, Michelle? We had a company that's going to be doing cold storage. For the first time, cold storage. They're going to be able to put a box in a person's house that's going to be solar powered. For the first time ever, they're going to have a refrigeration system inside their home. First time ever. This is a huge impact for those people.
I'm very excited about that because, in fact, we have another program that we're working on right now called the Facility Guarantee Program. And under that program, we can actually provide a credit guarantee to encourage U.S. banks to provide trade credits to banks around the world so that they can finance, let's say, our cold chain kind of capacities overseas. This will allow, for example, exports of U.S. fish. For example, I had an importer, actually an export that's originally from Nigeria, that actually bought up fish that were considered invasive species, bought them for about $1 something a pound, where normally you'd pay $3 or $5 a pound, exported them to Nigeria, and is making a profit on something that was considered a pest in the United States. But the thing that's important is, whether we're talking about fish or poultry or anything else, we need to have those refrigerated systems, and to enter a market beyond just the high-end market to get to the middle-end market. That's where we're going to capture the growth. Absolutely. And that's where niche markets are and opportunities are for U.S. small businesses, particularly those owned by women.
That's great. And you know something, we're just picking up on a little thing here, but let's just stick with cold storage, for example. When you go down to even the Caribbean islands, they're out there picking up fruit. By the time they bring it to port, it's already spoiled. By the time they bring it to port, they might have to keep it there for 2 or 3 days. It deteriorates. So they don't have the product to export, or we have the product to import either. It works both ways. So this is like a little niche that is important. And agriculture is right here to help us grow our businesses. And so I encourage everybody. And the key is, this is coming from us. This is not coming from a chamber of commerce or a trade association. These people are sincere in helping. And I want everybody out there to understand, when you talk about state, you talk about agriculture, and you talk about commerce, and you talk about other agencies, these people inside are sincere, they're hardworking, they know their stuff, and they're willing to go to the wall for you. But you got to belly up to the bar. You got to start going global. You got to start expanding yourself.
That's right.
And you've got the tools here, and there's no shenanigans going on. And what's neat about it is that they'll be consistent with you, and they'll be able to help you grow.
Now, wait a minute. I might want to make a correction on that word consistent. I would say that more really what we're trying to do is, under the Trade Promotion Coordinating Committee, every agency in the United States government, whether it's the U.S. Export-Import Bank, the Commodity Credit Corporation where I work, or it's the Small Business Administration or Department of Commerce, we are working together to help small businesses, or any business that wants to export. And what I say by this is, I usually get calls that I put into 3 categories. Some are not ready to do business yet, and so I can refer them to the Small Business Administration to get help on various seminars, developing business plans, bankable business plans. Some category of folks that I have had some business in the United States and they've been successful, but they haven't had the experience in exporting yet. And then the third category is somebody who's been exporting globally, but they're entering into a new market. And so we can help with all of that. On the consistency level, I'm going to say, I say this as if I'm speaking to myself. I'll be working in business when I retire. That you get lucky. Most of the people working in the United States government need to have a change in thinking about how they can better align with the needs of business and be more proactive. The panel this morning spoke directly to that, and that's exactly where we need to go. So that I would say in the recruitment phase over the next 5 or 10 years, You need to recruit people that are not necessarily economists, but have business expertise and have some cultural experience, cross-cultural experience. So I think there needs to be changes. One of the CEOs on the panel this morning said, we act like we're thinking about when we won the Olympics 10 years ago, but we need to be thinking about how we're going to win the Olympics, the next 5 or 10 years out, and I agree with that.
We do too. And we've been blessed to have Pat Kerwin on our show numerous times, and he's involved with this coordination effort. But to think that there's tools out there, whether it's XM Bank, the SBA, agriculture, state, commerce, there's many other tools. OPEC, we have the former ambassador for OPEC on our board as well. So we are there to help you. And this is a perfect example of a lady that has experience, that is reaching out to you saying, hey, listen, here's my phone number. You need some help, I can give you direction if I can't help you right now.
That's right.
And that's marvelous, okay?
Yes, and we are willing to do that. We're doing that better than we had maybe a year or two ago. Under the President's initiative, we are actually moving in that direction. So much so that, when there's an opportunity, we present about our agricultural programs along with Patrick Kerwin, Commerce, Small Business Administration, where I did a detail. I worked for the Chief International Lending Officer, and that further expanded our capabilities of working together to help small businesses who want to export.
And we're going to have our big show coming up here on the 6th and 7th. Our webathon with over 4 million veterans are going to be on our show, participating in our show with associations. Here's an opportunity for you to take a look at. You got international experience, you veterans. Just being abroad, you've got a lot of tools. Your people love to employ you, but also there's companies out there that need your experiences on a global basis. You can be the doers of this thing. So we're gonna bring this aboard when we talk to you all on our webathon on the 6th and 7th. All day, all night, we're gonna get 1,000 jobs and 1,000 contracts. That's what we're gonna do. But we couldn't do all these things if we didn't have the opportunities such as we have right here with Michele, as she has with other departments. This is togetherness more so than you think. So, Michele, this has been wonderful.
Well, I want to say to the veterans that, in fact, in our agency, the Foreign Ag Service, we have Mr. James Warden, who, under our Civil Rights Program, actually works very specifically with veterans. So sometimes while you're looking at business opportunities, you may have an advocate inside the agency that can help you a little bit better. I would also say to folks that are looking to start up, they've got good ideas, check your counties. Look at Google, the Small Business Administration, look at the Small Business District offices, but also the counties have programs. Sometimes, in very limited cases, if you're a woman or minority-owned business, they may even have grants. But, it's just as Mr. Keating has said, you really need to do your homework, you need to get out there, you need to take advantage of those seminars that are available to you, and many of them for free.
Absolutely. You're hearing it right from the first string, ladies and gentlemen. Get out there, and it's a little different way of doing business. They want to get to know you before they do business. So get used to that kind of a climate. And it's too bad America doesn't do business that way. We'd be further down the road as a country ourselves. But this has been wonderful, Michele. We have Michele Kouadio.
But I want to say one more thing on that issue.
I know you do. Here we go.
I have to correct the record because I will say that both in my detail of Small Business Administration and working with a number of companies that wanted to export, and I worked in the Baltimore office, I worked along with Commerce at the U.S. Export Assistance Center, that I met so many people with so much talent that can gain so much for the United States by their sales and technology and otherwise, that it's really just a question of getting that training of how to develop business plans that are bankable, using guarantees as public-private partnership to allow this creativity to be fruitful and successful. It's just that, you have a lot of smart people out there with good ideas. They just need to know how to package it so that they can be successful. And then also tap into the experience that, the U.S. government has in reaching out to global partners around the world.
It's about expanding. It's about relationships. And Michele's really put a great perspective on it for all of us to learn from. Use the tool. Get in contact with her. If you need some help, she's here to help. Michele, I want to thank you for being on our show.
Please tell Clayton Yiter that Michele says hello.
Will do. Thank you very much.
You.
You're on the Howard Keating Show.